name's Mr. Q. So far in Common Core history, we have learned about how civilization began. But now, we're going to talk about when people in the Mediterranean came up with ways of running things that are still with us today. First, let's start with the Greeks. After the fall of the Mycenaean civilization, in which Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, the Greek people actually lost the knowledge of writing and fell into a dark age. This lasted between 1100 BCE and 800 BCE. Eventually, the Greeks adapted the Phoenician alphabet to create their own language, which for the first time gave equal weight to vowels and consonants. See, this is one way they helped shape the modern world, because the Romans used Greek and other languages to create Latin, which was then used to help create many modern languages like English. The end of the Dark Ages, up to 500 BCE, is called the Archaic period. And this is when the Greeks started organizing themselves into city-states. They were called a polis. This is when merchants became rich selling goods like pottery. And they started resenting the power of the ruling class. I mean, why couldn't they have a say in how things are run too? This is where the idea of democracy came from. Demo equals people, and kratos equals power. So democracy is power of the people. 500 BCE to 300 BCE is what we call Greece's classical period. It began when the city-state of Athens established the Delian League, which was an alliance of neighboring city-states to prevent wars with the Persians. Important thinkers like Socrates and Pythagoras made huge advances in science, philosophy, and mathematics. Great architecture like the Parthenon was built, and you can still see its ruins in the Acropolis of Athens today. A city-state of warriors called the Spartans didn't like Athens, though. Eventually, that led to two wars that neither side really won. The power vacuum was filled by Philip II of Macedon, who united the Greek city-states under Macedonian rule. This was the late classical period, which ended with the death of Philip's son in 323 BCE. You might have heard of him, guys. His name was Alexander the Great. He led a full-scale invasion of Persia and conquered most of the known world, pushing all the way to Egypt and India. While he did this, Alexander spread Greek culture, doing a lot to bring the Western and Eastern worlds together. Then he died when he was 32. And now on to the Romans. Ta-da! Legend has it that Rome started as a tiny town on the Tiber River in the 8th century BCE. The war god Mars was supposed to have had twin sons, called Romulus and Remus. They were raised by a she-wolf after being abandoned. I guess war gods don't make the best fathers. Romulus, get this, killed his brother and became the first king of Rome, which was named after him. So that's the legend, right? But let's go back to some history. Rome had lots of kings, but the last one was overthrown in 509 BCE. That's when Rome became a republic. Similar to the Greek word democracy, republic centered around the people. So who ran things in a republic? The answer is 2 consuls. They were elected annually by citizens. And back then, that word citizen had a really specific meaning. Citizens were an elite class of Roman-born males. Could you be a citizen if you're a woman? Nah. Could you be a citizen if you were a kid? The Roman Republic lasted for 450 years, which is almost twice as long as the United States has been around. It ended in 27 BCE. Octavian became the first Roman emperor, calling himself Augustus. By then, Greece had become a protectorate of Rome, and the Romans had taken a lot of their ideas. See, at first Romans worshipped spirits in the natural world. But then when they saw that the Greeks had a group of gods, they were like, that's cool. There was Poseidon, the god of the sea, Ares, the god of war, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love. The Romans called them Neptune, Mars, and Venus. You can see how those names came in handy for naming other things. The Roman conquest of Gaul and Britain spread their ideas far and wide. For 200 years, a period of peace and prosperity known as Pax Romana allowed these ideas to grow. And at its height, the Roman Empire controlled 20% of the world's population. But it all came crashing down in 476 CE. After decades of decline, barbarians from the north invaded. Well, that's the end of that chapter. Next time we're going to move on to Asian civilizations. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification button if you want to be the first to see our new videos. Got an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook. Anyways, my name is Mr. Q, and I gotta go.